know why I purchased an artichoke last week. It's like I knew how the story was going to end. It's like, I'm going to stop you right there. I've heard this one and I know how it ends. But I was just like, it's a different time, you know? Like, just because I purchased an artichoke in 2013 and it didn't go well doesn't mean that it can't be a home run today in 2023. And it's like, as I was selecting the artichoke, like I was like, oh, which one seems good? I was like, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't buy this, because I can't. All right. I thought I had this in me, but this is no way to start episode 105. And welcome in. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, there's seats up front. There's a couple seats down here if you guys want to come by. Yeah. It is absolutely pouring rain. It's been pouring rain. And it was so crazy. Okay, it's like, I feel like the way people were talking about this rain, if like you live in Southern California, I went to the grocery store on Thursday. Like, I was just like, I was acting like I was never gonna get food again. And I was like, I need to get everything. I don't wanna have to go out in the rain. I even like thought ahead. I was like, I might wanna bake banana bread. Let me get some flour. I don't have any. It's like, I was really thinking, and yet I didn't quite get anything. I didn't get anything. I got one thing for dinner. Actually, I got two things for dinner. But it was like I wasn't counting the Thursday night before it was raining. So it was like I actually got one thing for dinner, whatever. I was just like, what's about to happen? Like, this is going to be crazy. Like, we might float away. I hope we do. But yeah, I was just like, and it's so entrenched in me. When it's raining, it's like, oh, when it's raining, you stay inside. When it's raining, you avoid going outside like the damn plague. And yeah, so Friday, it's like stayed inside all day. And then it was like Saturday came around, and it's hard for me, and this is something I'm working on, just treating Saturday like it's another day of the week. It's like, because I just kind of do work in some capacity every day. And so it's like, oh, it's Saturday and it's raining. It's like, so I'm going to work. Like, I didn't actively have that thought, but it was just, you know, I got up and I was like, man, like, I was like, damn, this kind of sucks. You know, like, that's what I was kind of thinking in my head. I was like, I don't fucking want to do work today. Like, I was just going to go through it. I was going to go through with it. I was like, whatever, it's hell, it sucks, get over it. And then my boyfriend was like, I assumed he was going to do the same thing. Like, you know, we usually just get up and like go to our desks and start working. And it's like, he got up and he was like, do you want to go out somewhere? And I was like, holy shit, yes. Like, I was like, didn't realize how badly, like, I did not want to stay home. And it started off, it's like, he's like, oh, let's go get coffee, whatever, I'll get something different. And then we're like, okay. And he's like, or should we like get breakfast? And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. Yes, I want breakfast. And so we're like, oh, okay. We were thinking about where to go. And then we were like, well, we don't really want to drive that far, you know, like, it wasn't raining in the moment, but it was just like, I don't want to be just like, you know, driving somewhere like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, like, just to get breakfast. It's like, let's keep it local. So we go like a couple streets down and we're like, oh, let's go to this restaurant that like we would probably never go to, just because, I don't know, it's like, it always just, the clientele is really annoying. Like, I just walk by and I'm like, I don't want to say I hate everyone sitting here, but listen, I don't love you. I don't love you. It's not quite the vibe. It's just like, you're doing too much. You're whatever. I mean, I don't need to judge. It doesn't need to affect my life, but it's like, multiple people have voiced this opinion. Like, they're just annoying. But we're like, oh, no one's going to be there. It's like rainy, like whatever. Like, this is the perfect time to go, because they actually have really good food. So we're like, go, and we're like walking, and it's like every store is like dark. Oh, no, wait. We're walking and we see one of the traffic lights is just bent to hell. Like this thing is just in a configuration it never knew was possible. Like this traffic light is just down for the count. And then we realized this like pole is like, the head is sliced off of it. I mean, I don't even know how that happened. Like there's like a wood pole and there's like splinters at the top, and it's like, is this the mark of lightning? Like, I don't know. We were just like, wait, what's going on? We start walking. We're like, oh my God, everything's closed. And I was getting worried. I was like, because when my boyfriend and I were like, oh, let's go get breakfast, it's like, and that's something you'd want to just like fly out of the house for. But then it was like, all right, well, let's take out Helena, you know? And then it was like, well, you know, if we're going to breakfast, like, let me just put a little outfit on, you know, like, let me put on mascara, God forbid. Like, I don't know. Like, again, let me just be ready for the day. And I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like, it's absolutely freezing here. Like, it's raining. I dressed like for a brisk spring day. That was what I prepared for. Like, I'm like, the sun's out, there's a little breeze. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was just like, I couldn't have had on less layers that were not that warm. And in fairness to myself, I guess I thought we were just driving like essentially down the street and we were going into the restaurant and then we were going home. But so we get there, everything's closed. We're like walking, we're like, oh my God, we're like, what the hell are we gonna do? We were like walking by, and we see like, we come across a Blue Mercury. And don't get me started on Blue Mercury, you know I love it. But we come across a Blue Mercury and I peer in, the door is open. And I'm like, oh, is this open? Like, not that I want to go in, I'm just like curious, like, okay, everything's closed, but Blue Mercury's open. Sephora could never. It's like this woman is standing in Blue Mercury. The door is open. It's pitch black. And she's just like standing there like waiting to welcome customers. And I was like, all right, hold up. What the fuck is going on? Like, once again, and it's like, okay, I don't need to say everything out loud, but I might just really be getting back into journalism, you know, like after reading Stephen A. Smith's book, and it's like he started off as a journalist, and it's like I kind of always think like when people are like, oh, what'd you major in? I'm like, oh, like I don't know, magazine journalism. Like I think it's like so stupid. And it's like not like that's why I wanted to go to school. Like I was 2 years in and I didn't have a major and I was just like, I don't know, I guess this. I wanted to write. I just wanted to write as much as possible. And I was just like, I feel like journalists write a lot, you know? So I was like, okay, I'll do this. And I don't know, I feel like I've always just really sort of in my head treated it like it was like this dumb decision that was just something like I had to do, I had to pick, and I don't really stand by it. And I don't know, now I'm just like, what if it was exactly right? You know, it's like, what if I had it right this entire time and I needed to get those roots in? I don't know, I've just been doing a lot of thinking in February. Oh yeah, and then I read Stephen A. Smith's book, whatever. So it's like this woman's just standing there in the dark, and I'm like, once again, my journalism skills just kicked right in. I'm like, first of all, I'm like, are you guys open? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's pretty wild. Like I was like, it's pretty dark in here. Like I was like, are the registers even up? It's like, can people even buy something? And she's like, there's one. She was like, not. She was like, well, you know, there's one iPad that's working. Like, it was like her whole day was just dictated by that one iPad. It's like, had that iPad not been working, they would have been like, hey, don't come in. Like, it's all the power's out and you won't even be able to ring up a customer. Like, all the iPads are out, all the cash registers are out. Like, you can't come in even if you wanted to. But because that one iPad somehow had a signal, had a hotspot, she had to go into the store. And she had a great attitude. And Well, she did. She's like, I am waiting just to leave, like, until, I don't know, someone gets here with something. And I'm like, so what's going on this street? Because our power had gone out the night before for like 10 minutes. But she's like, yeah, the power's out. A car hit the traffic light, which I guess hit the wooden pole, and just this whole street is just shut the fuck down. And it was like, wow. And I guess the guy who hit it was okay. And it was like, he just truly simply couldn't see. It was raining so hard. And it was hard to sort of follow all of her anecdotes, but it was like, I almost thought she said like she saw the guy who hit the pole and he was like walking his dogs, and he was like, yeah, there's not going to be any power on this street today. Like, I hit a pole and it's pretty much, you can just pack it up and go home, you know? And it's like, how wild to be the person who just dictated an entire block's future, you know? And I hope he's all right. But yeah, she's like, she just gave us all, like, I might as well have had a damn notepad out. Like, I was like, okay, and what time about would you say the car struck the pole? You know, like, I was just like, all you got to do in journalism is just hit the streets, you talk to people, you hit the ground running, you get information that in the moment you might not think is relevant, but it might be just the thing that cracks the case. What am I talking about? Who knows? But it just felt good to get information. It's like, it felt like she wanted to give this information, you know, like, it is kind of a big deal. It's like, nothing on the street is open, a car hit a pole, and she knows about it. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't she want to divulge those facts to someone who majored in magazine journalism? You know, it's like, I don't even see why she wouldn't. But yeah, we talked to her for like 20 minutes, and so we were like, yeah, where do we go from here? And now I'm like, wow, I am freezing. Like, I got to get in the car. I got to get my seat warmers on. We get in the car and we're like, where are we going? And now I'm like extra kind of freaked out. I'm like, I don't really want to be like driving. Like, you know, this man hit a damn pole and now this woman's standing in Blue Mercury in the absolute pitch dark. It's like, I don't know. But also I was truly felt happy for everyone who didn't have to go to work that day. It's like, because I've been there time and time again. You wake up on a fucking Saturday, it's pouring rain, and while everyone's home, cozy, you're like, let me clock in at Noah's Bagels, what have you. Like, it's just like, imagine getting that call, you're so warm in bed, your alarm goes off, and you're like, God damn, I don't want to go to work today. And then you just get that call, and they're like, yeah, no, don't come in. Whatever you do, don't come in. You can't. The choice is taken away from you, so it's not even like, hey, it's super slow today, like, if, you know, we need a couple people to not come in, I understand. And you're like, ugh, I don't want to come in, but I'm always just like, well, but then I don't get paid, you know. So just to have that choice taken away from you and be like, do not come here. You won't be welcome. You will not be working today. I mean, I just felt so happy for everyone who just got that call or like saw their email and just went back to sleep or got up and was like, wow, I have the whole day to like make hot chocolate, like do whatever I want. Oh my God, I was really excited for them. But so we got in the car and we're like, all right, what's the plan? We got to pivot here. And I'm like, I don't want to drive far. I'm freezing. But, you know, it was just like, I don't want to go back home. I was like, I'll be fine. So then we decide to go to the Grove. I don't know. Oh, because I was like, let's go to the farmer's market. Like, they have this really good breakfast place. And we're like, will the seats be all wet? I'm just like, let's just go. Let's go. We go. It's so fun. It's like empty. We get this bomb breakfast. They have fucking heat lamps. Like, it's like, why did I even think for 1 second that they were playing around at the Grove? Like, they wouldn't have heat lamps on the premises. Like, they weren't waiting to bust those bitches out. I mean, I couldn't have been cozier. It was so, so good. We walked around the farmer's market. It's like, I never walk around the farmer's market at the Grove. Like, who does? You know, it's like tourists. It was so fun, and I was just like, wow, it's so nice to actually be out in the rain. It's like, and I felt, again, like thinking back to London when it was like, you know, when it rains here, I'm just like, all right, how ugly can I look? I'd love to see the worst possible clothes I can put on my body, and I'd love to see how bad I look. Like, you would just think that was my objective. And then, like, with London in mind, I was like, no, let's put on an outfit. Let's put on a little bit of makeup. Like, let's brush my hair. You know, like, let's, like, kind of put it together. And it felt so good to be out. Like, it was like, so what, it's raining. Like, I feel like I've just been truly indoctrinated to just feel like the rain is, like, just, you can't go out in it. I do feel like I'm always, like, always trying not to, like, get my hair wet, you know, like, it's gonna get ruined and this and that, but it was so freeing to be at the Grove when it was pouring rain. We went into Nordstrom. I mean, everyone working at Nordstrom, I'll tell you right now, is in hell. We did not encounter one person that was not absolutely felt like they were gonna bitch slap us. Like, and then we were in, okay, whatever, this isn't interesting, but it's like, and this is so specific to LA, but like, Nordstrom used to do 2 hours free validation, and we're about to leave, and I'm like, oh, I gotta validate my parking. The thing is gone. Like, it was never there. Like, I was just like, wait, what? So I go up to this girl working at the MAC counter thinking like she would just be a normal damn person. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm like, did the validation thing move? And she's like, she didn't even look up from whatever bold lipsticks she was organizing, from whatever deep burgundy lip liner she was getting in order. Like, she didn't even look up, and she's like, there's no more validation. And I'm like, she like mumbled it. And I was like, oh, sorry. And she's like, there's no validation. She's still not looking up. I'm like, oh. I'm like, you can't get parking validated here? And she goes, you have to buy something. She seriously whispered this under her breath. And I go, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. She goes, you have to buy something. And I'm like, jeez. Maybe toss on some glittered powder and like perk yourself up a bit. I mean, listen, I get what it's like to be at a job you don't want to be at, but it's like, damn, bitch. It's like, you're in a warm ass environment. You're the only one manning the MAC counter. It's like, pick yourself up, pull yourself together. So then I'm like, geez. I'm like, you have to buy something? So then we went to Auntie Anne's Pretzels because we were like, oh my God, how good does a pretzel sound? And we're like, oh, we'll validate the parking there. And we're like, did you guys validate? They're like, no. I had wanted to go into Gap anyways. It was close. I go into Gap. I'm about to ask them if they validate. This woman is talking to the girl at the register, and she's like, oh wow, like, she's just learning herself too that nowhere validates parking anymore. And she's like, I heard her say, she goes, they were so rude at Nordstrom. And this woman had a great attitude. Like, I knew after hearing her talk for one moment that she wasn't the problem. And similarly with my MAC experience, I'm like, I know I wasn't the problem. And so I go to her, I'm like, oh my God, they were rude to you too? Because we had 2 other encounters in Nordstrom that they were not very nice. And she goes, oh my God. She goes, they were the rudest. I'm like, truly? And usually I don't like to sit here and like, you know, just sort of spread tales of bad energy. But it was just like, Nordstrom, I think you need to do a mass firing and like just get some better people on board, because it's like, Nordstrom should be fun. On a rainy Saturday, Nordstrom should be everything you want it to be and more. I shouldn't be absolutely skewered by the woman working the MAC counter. And I don't think I'll ever look at MAC products the same again. And yeah, it felt really cathartic to talk to this woman in Gap, and she was like, oh yeah, they were so rude to me. I was like, same. And then I realized that it's like, oh, I guess you don't have to get your parking validated. Like, you know, like, because I was thinking it was going to be like $30. And I was like, well, because I never actually, whatever. But I was like, so how much is it? And she's like, I think it's like $4. I'm like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I got to leave. I got to leave the Grove. Nordstrom has left me with Auntie Anne's pretzels put a phenomenal taste in my mouth in the form of a cinnamon sugar pretzel, and then Nordstrom just ripped that taste right the fuck out. Wow, I'm looking at the most stunning hummingbird with a red neck. And not like it has an allergy or something. Like it came like that. It is just a vivid red. And she's gorgeous. Now she's gone. But yeah, anyways, I was just like, what? Like, it really made me think, like, not that you want to go far in the rain, but it's like, you don't always have to sit inside. You know, it's like maybe you have one day of sitting inside and then one day of maybe just getting out there. I was absolutely freezing, but it was fine. I've since recovered. I got warm in Nordstrom and then I left absolutely frigid from the tongue of a disgruntled Mac employee. It was devastating. Anyways, I've survived. I'm here and I survived. I don't know. Did I say welcome to episode 105? If not, please. Oh yeah, I did. Whatever. Oh yeah, I've been taking some absolutely bold swings with toothpaste. I know people are like, what sort of bold swings could you possibly have been making? And I feel like this all started, I was in CVS one day and I needed toothpaste and I saw this, I think it was Crest charcoal toothpaste. And I was like, fuck it, I'm interested. Absolutely, sign me up. I get it, I loved it. It was like the toothpaste was kind of black, which was like at first kind of disturbing because it's like you would spit and it'd be like, wait, why is this coming out black? But then you get used to it. And it's like charcoal, does it not always feel like it's really doing something? Like when they're like, yeah, there's charcoal in this, like it's a charcoal face mask. You're like, don't say another fucking word, I want it. But so I had this charcoal toothpaste. Okay, we finish it. I'm back at CVS and another kind of different toothpaste catches my eye. I forget the brand. It was sort of like, you know, it wasn't Crest, it wasn't Colgate, it wasn't your main bitches. It was a new bitch in the ring. And I was like, you know what? I'll try you. I'll try you. It was all right. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good. And I was like, all right. And my boyfriend was like, I didn't like that toothpaste. And I'm like, yeah, me either. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get new toothpaste. When I was at Marshall's a few weeks ago, you know, and Marshall's, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but Marshall's will tell you what you need. It's like you go into Marshall's and you're like, I need this. And they're like, no, you need this. So I was perusing and I see a toothpaste catches my eye. It looks really good. I'm like, interesting. I look it up. It's like retails for like $20 and it was like $3.99 there. And I was like, okay, this is probably like a really, really good toothpaste. Like, sold. Oh my God. It was honestly worse than the Trader Joe's toothpaste, which is a hard feat to accomplish. But I don't even know what this was. Like, I don't even think it was toothpaste. Like, it said whitening on it, but it's like, I honestly think it was more of just like a whitening glaze that you use maybe after you brush your teeth. It was so nasty. And now that we're at the end of this, there's absolutely no point in it. I just, you know, started off getting the charcoal toothpaste and then I'm like now like interested in toothpaste. I'm like, yeah, why do I always just get these like name brands? It's like, what else is out there? And then it's like, you know, I just got off on the wrong foot. I just got too bold, and yesterday I just had to fucking go to CVS. I was like, give me your best Crest. And they were like, we don't need to get it for you. Like, you can just go grab it. And I'm like, all right. A rainy February. We need it. Kind of hard to focus in the rain, is it not? You know, it's like it starts raining and you just forget every good habit you've built. It's kind of crazy. And Friday, when it first started raining, I was absolutely lost. I was scattered. I was gone. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I have Magic Mind in the damn fridge. I'm fine. I'll be fine. And now it's like, just because it's raining cats and damn dogs outside doesn't mean I can't be focused, doesn't mean I can't have natural energy, doesn't mean I can't get some great ingredients in me, including but not limited to ashwagandha. What is that, you say? If you're like me, you always hear about ashwagandha. You don't want to say it out loud because you're scared, but I just did and I'm fine. So ashwagandha is an adaptogen that reduces stress and anxiety. And it's like, yes. Also, Magic Mind has lion's mane mushrooms, reduces anxiety and inflammation while also supporting cognition by preventing neural degeneration and stimulating neural regeneration. It also has cordyceps mushrooms. I mean, I can't keep listing great ingredient after great ingredient. If you want to get your hands on them, you're in luck. It's crazy. It's the last day of February and you're in luck. The Magic Mind team has created a special deal for my listeners. You can get up to 56% off your first subscription in the next 10 days and 20% off your one-time purchase with Composed 20. Where can I get it, you're asking yourself? Great question. You can get it at magicmind.co/composed and use code composed20, but hurry. Like I've been saying, this is a limited time offer. So yeah, the rain did not prevent me from being focused and getting damn ashwagandha into my system, and thank God and thank Magic Mind. All right, let's see here. I forgot to mention a show last week that I was on, but it actually got canceled. So it was like, wow, I kind of just did the right thing, you know? March 7th, Too Wet Crew. Oh, wow, that show's back. Too Wet Crew, March 7th, Dynasty Typewriter. And then March 9th, I will be headlining at Comedy Fort in Fort Worth, Colorado. Fort Collins. I'll be in Colorado, and thank God I'll be close to the Denver Nuggets, just in their presence, just sort of feeling the energy of the back-to-back, soon-to-be-back MVP Nikola Jokic, just absolutely drinking in the good vibes percolating off of Reggie Jackson, the intensity of a one Mr. Jamal Murray, the wherewithal of a Michael Porter Jr., the absolute defensive resilience of KCP, aka Kentavious Caldwell Pope. I mean, don't even get me started on Bruce Brown. Oh my God. But yeah, I'll be in Colorado headlining March 9th, and I'll put these on my website today, and then I'll be there Friday and Saturday as well, featuring for Dean Del Rey. Is it going to be freezing? I don't know. What's the altitude going to be like? I'm scared. But we have to challenge ourselves. What are we doing here for not challenging ourselves? It's like, all right, why don't you go to Colorado and see if you can breathe? Why don't you do that? And it's like, challenge accepted. So that'll be exciting. And yeah, basketball is getting so crazy. It's so fucking good. It's so good. And I'm so damn happy my show got canceled last night. Like, I was the people that didn't have to go into work on the rainy Saturday. Like, I was like, you know, they told us Saturday, get an email, hey, we're so sorry to do this, but the show's canceled. And it's like, no worries. Don't fucking worry about me. I'll be just fucking fine. And in the time I would have had to go to the show, oh, guess what? I got to watch Clippers Nuggets go into damn overtime, as I knew it would. and the Nuggets prevailed as I knew they would. And, you know, I got to spend time with my boyfriend, be cozy at home with my dog, Helena. I don't know if you know her. And it was just like, yeah, you know, this is all for the best. So that was a nice little treat. I'm doing, maybe if you want to join me, I've been doing, in January, because actually my boyfriend was like, I'm reading 3 books this month. And I don't read so intentionally like that. It's like I just kind of read. I mean, I do read every day, but it's like I'm not kind of planning ahead like that. Like I'm not like, oh, I want to read this many books. But then he was like, I'm going to read 3 books this month. I was like, that's a great idea. I was like, I want to read 3 books this month. And the crazy thing about goals is once you know them, then you can have something to start working towards. And I'm sure everyone knows this, but I'm kind of just getting on board. And so I was like, okay, I'll read 3 books. Did it. No problem. Absolutely polished them off. And this month is no different. February is no different. In fact, I've already finished my 3 books. I got a head start on, you know, technically one for March yesterday, because this thing is thick. I got a couple thick ones coming up, and I'm not shying away from a thick book, and neither should you. But yeah, so it's like I honestly maybe want to up it to 4 in March, because February is, you know, it's a little short number, but March, you know, we just got the full complement. We got the damn 31 days, you know, so it's like that's extra days to just be reading. So yeah, I'm excited for that. You know, God willing, I find the strength in me to cook this artichoke. And I don't even remember what I said at the beginning of this episode about it, but basically I bought an artichoke and I was like, don't do this. You're not going to make it. And then I was just like, I was just putting it in my bag and I was like, I guess I'm getting this. And I haven't checked on this artichoke in about a week or so. I hope she's all right. I can't imagine she's not terrified. Not to mention freezing in the crisper drawer, but I don't know, maybe I'll fish her out today and just toss her ass in some boiling water and see what's what. So crazy. I washed my hair today and I did I say this? God, what's happening? I was like, I've just been letting my hair dry kind of natural, just going with it. But I wanted to do that today, but then I freaking washed my hair and I was like, I'm actually freezing. I was like, you know what I would love? Just to blast some hot heat right at my head. And so I did. And now my hair's dry, and as a result, I'm warm. Whew, hard to say where we fell off the rails during this episode. I feel like it was after the MAC counter. I mean, this woman, I almost gotta respect her for just being so rude. Like, she didn't even look up. It's like, and listen, I understand. I don't doubt that I'm the 1400th person to ask her about the frickin' validation thing, because her booth is closest to where the validation thing was. And it's like, listen, then why don't you think outside the box? Why don't you get a damn sign and put it where the validation thing was and be like, listen, we're not giving you bitches 2 free hours anymore. Those days are fucking over. Go buy a fucking deep mauve lipstick and call it a day. Get the fuck out of here. Like, write that on the thing so that people don't have to keep coming up to your cranky ass and asking you about the validation thing. Oh man, she was on one. Like, she didn't have the luxury of that one block that got their power out. No. Nordstrom is not letting a power outage keep them down. They have systems in fucking place. So yeah, she didn't get that call, and she didn't get to stay home on Saturday and just try on, you know, some hot pink blush or whatever they're selling at MAC these days. Why am I like absolutely trashing MAC? All right. Thanks so much. Thank you for the reviews. I mean, just if I could get a fresh review every week, that would really make my life better. And you're sitting here thinking, wow, you have the chance to make someone's life better. You better do it. Subscribe, rate, review. Subscribe, rate, review. Oh, I just put, this was actually devastating. If you didn't know this, I'll let you know. I am a 4-time published author in Chicken Soup for the Soul. And, I get their emails all the time and they're like, hey, we have a new story, call out. The power of positive thinking, the power of this, the cure of laughter, whatever. They have all these different prompts. They have a deadline. And I'm just so damn mad at myself because I wrote maybe the perfect story. And it was the getting out of your comfort zone. That was the theme. And I was like, I have just the thing I'll whip up for you bitches. And I was really loving this story. And the date had been sometime in December, and then when I checked back again, it had moved to what I thought was February 15th. And I should have turned it in such a long time ago, but I was really like tinkering with it up to the last moment. And I was like, it's just not ready. It's like, I'm not ready to turn it in. And then so it was like February 8th, and I'm like, all right, this is the day. I'm finishing this and I'm turning it in. I want it off my plate. I go to submit it somehow, probably because I didn't have my magic mind at the time. I got the dates wrong. And this thing was due January 30th. And I'm like, no! I was so devastated. I immediately emailed Chicken Soup. I was like, listen, like, I don't want to throw my weight around here, but like, this isn't my first rodeo. It's like, you guys like what I bring to the table. Is there any way to still submit my story? Like, it's just a week after. It's not like months after. And they got back to me and they were so nice, but basically they were like, we're so sorry, like there's not. And I'm just like, damn. I'm proud of this story because it didn't come to me for a while. Like, I knew what I wanted to write about, but it just like wasn't coming out. I mean, I changed this thing 1,000 times, and it was really rewarding, and I really liked what I produced. And it's like, I changed my writing slightly to, cater to Chicken Soup. It's like, had I been writing this just for me, would I have written it exactly like that? No, but it's not too far off. Like, I'm never gonna write something that's not like something I would stand by. So it's like, is it a little softer and maybe a little more feel good to it? Yeah, it's for Chicken Soup for the Soul, but whatever. They were like, you can't submit it. And so whatever, but long story short, I threw it up on the Patreon. It's resting there now. And yeah, if you want to check it out, patreon.com/ChaseBernstein. Subscribe, rate, review. I've been putting full video episodes on YouTube. I think I have like 4 or 5 up there right now. And yeah, that's kind of exciting. My YouTube's Chase Bernstein. And cannot thank you guys enough. Cannot thank you guys enough for pulling up a seat to episode 105. And we'll see you next week for, you guessed it, episode 106. Bye.